that hole, did you?
This whole area right here where there's no grass growth and the ground is cracking, it's all just rock under there.
It's a different color soil. Pretty soil. That's like clay over there. This is like... No, I guess that's clay too. There's that terracotta pipe.
We just need them to go down far enough to stay in place once we add soil and there's pressure pushing them outward.
Now, are you putting the metal on the outside of the posts or the inside of the posts?
I'm just going to put it on the inside of the post.
Interesting.
Why?
Just curious.
That way most of the post is exposed to air and not buried in soil.
And then we can lay a piece of a shelving on top to keep kiddos and people from leaning onto the metal.
Do you not like that plan?
Okay. Does it lead, did I leave you enough space for your irrigation? Drainage?
Yes.
Good, good, good.
Can we grab that thing and break that ground up? Have you ever seen the Chevy Chase movie where he's like...
The Money Pit? Yeah.
That's not Chevy Chase, that's Tom Hanks.
Oh. Abner, look at all these rocks.
I don't need to see the Money Pit, I've looked at it. No, but where he's chasing the groundhog in the golf course. And he's like digging all these holes everywhere trying to get to the groundhog.
Never seen it.
Blows up the golf course.
Is that how you feel right now?
Well, I feel like I'm digging all these holes looking for some sort of groundhog.
Well, you're the one that wanted to make it so robust.
Well, you want to make it out of metal. If we don't put this post into the ground, it's gonna like...
I don't necessarily want to make it out of metal so much as we need to make it out of metal because it is the material that we have.
Okay.
So
if we're gonna make it
just
out
to
of metal...
clarify, it's not a want.
I don't want to dig a bunch of holes.
But we want to have veggies.
But because we're putting metal, we need the holes.
Come on, Ab.
Go!
Daddy's being so funny.
That wasn't funny, that hurt.
Is he being so funny? How funny, Dad.
So we are in the process of building raised beds. This has been quite the process. We started out thinking that we wanted to build the raised beds out of cinder blocks. So back to my left, we've got a big pile of cinder blocks that we collected all over the property. Once we got the cinder blocks over here and stacked up, we decided that we did not want to build them out of cinder blocks because we didn't have enough cinder blocks to do it the way we wanted to, but we wanted to try and stick with using recycled materials. So what we're doing now is I've taken some 4x4 posts from our barn and I've cut them to size and kind of stuck them in the ground. I'm sticking these in the ground because we're using recycled tin for the sides and then we're going to paint it. So I need to have enough posts to support the tin when we add the soil to it. And that's pretty much what I'm working on now. Shauna came up with this design, the layout of the garden. So everything has to be done precisely. We have basically, she's got it figured out by what she wants to plant where, what goes with what, and then she has little paths and things. It doesn't look like much now, but when we get done with this, I think it'll be a pretty cool little raised bed setup. But right now, you know, what I'm working on is just getting these raised beds built. We'll probably have a piece of wood going around the top so that people don't cut themselves on the metal, because there's a lot of the edges of the metal are pretty sharp. I had to cut down the tin to fit the sides a little better. When we first priced out the soil for a full piece of tin, it was a lot of soil, and it's really unnecessary. You don't need it to be any more than about a foot deep. So that's kind of where we are with that, and hopefully by tomorrow I'll have both 16-foot raised beds and these little, I don't know if these are 6-footers or 8-foot raised beds in the center here put up. I'm not sure what gets planted where. That's not my department. She comes up with the design, I figure out how to make it work.